Hi, I'm Christy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm here with my historical fiction readathon, TBR. Alright, so I'm so excited for today's video and to share all of the historical fiction books I plan to read for next week's historical fiction readathon. So excited for this readathon. I'm actually co-hosting with Tori from Novel Life. We run a historical fiction book club, Leave It to the Pros, together, and we have so much fun reading a historical fiction book every month and then chatting about it on live shows. And we did do a round of the historical fiction readathon last year. We did this last fall in September, and so we were wanting to do one again this year, and we just hadn't gotten to it until now. So we're so excited to do a summer version. So this readathon is going to last from July 14th through the 20th. So we have a full week of reading historical fiction books. We wanted to keep it for a week since a lot of historical fiction can be maybe a little bit longer or take some time to get through the content. So we wanted a full week of reading and we're so excited. We have prompts, we have a group book, we have multiple reading sprints, and then a live show to wrap up the entire readathon. And I'm going to share all of that info with you in today's video, as well as my own readathon TBR. So let's get into it all. All right, I am pulling up all of the reading prompts and graphics on my phone, as well as if you follow our book club on Instagram, which is Leave It to the Pros Book Club. It's linked below, always in the description of my videos, and on there we have all of the graphics saved. So if you want to go back and see the prompts, find some currently reading graphics, make your own TBR, share your wrap up, all of those things, all that info is going to be saved there as well. All right, so the first prompt is to read the group book. Our group book for the readathon is going to be A Promise to Arlette by Serena Burdick. This is a newer release that just came out at the beginning of June, and we're very excited to read this one, which this book is also going to be our Leave It to the Pros July book club pick. So if you want to knock out two birds with one stone, you can read this for the readathon, mark it off for the group book, and then also you will have read our July book club pick and you can talk about it in our live show with us. So that is that one. We're so excited. This one I think is set in the 1950s where a married couple is living in the US, and then something happens where I think they find a photograph and some things maybe tie back to World War II. So I believe it is dual timeline, possibly the 50s and World War II. I'm excited to get to this one. The cover is stunning. The next prompt is to read a host's book rec. So I know that Tori and myself have both shared a ton of historical fiction content on our channels. I know I have a whole playlist on mine where you can go see all of my favorites and a ton of recommendations that I have. I will link that playlist below with all the historical fiction content. So prompt 3 is to read a historical romance. We like doing some other subgenres of historical fiction, and of course historical romance kind of falls under that genre, and so we are so excited. We both love historical romances. Prompt 4 is to read a historical fiction set in the country you live in. So again, this is going to be pretty self-explanatory, as well as it depends on the reader and where you live. So for myself, I live in the United States, so I would just pick a historical fiction that meets that prompt. In fact, our group pick meets that one as well. Prompt 5 is to read a historical fiction set in the 1950s. This one could also be marked off by the group pick. Prompt 6 is to read a historical fantasy. So again, we like to branch out and do some other subgenres within historical fiction, and so historical fantasies definitely play into that. I know I have historical fantasy recommendations in those videos I talked about that I'm linking below in my historical fiction playlist, as well as any book that blends fantasy as well as a historical fictional setting could meet that prompt. Prompt 7 is to read a book from your library. So again, pretty self-explanatory, and we love supporting libraries around here. So this one, I know a lot of my audiobooks that I'm getting will meet this prompt. And then the 8th and last prompt is to read a book longer than 350 pages. I feel like a lot of the historical fiction books can meet this prompt because they're usually pretty lengthy. All right, so those are all the prompts. Again, these are just recommendations of if you want or need a place to start, maybe meet some of these prompts for the readathon. You can go for a whole checklist being filled out, or if you just meet a few, like I mentioned, our group pick meets quite a few of these as well. So yeah, just whatever you want to do, however many historical fiction books you want to read in the week, we are so excited. All right, and then on to the reading sprints. So the first one, we're going to kick off the readathon on the first day, Monday, July 14th. We're going to have a reading sprint on Tori's channel, so definitely join us for that. And then the next one is going to be on Wednesday, July 16th. That will be right here on my channel, so another reading sprint to get you through the readathon. And then the last reading sprint we have is going to be on Saturday, July 19th. This is going to be on Tori's channel, one more last hurrah to kind of get through some historical fiction books. And then to wrap up the readathon, we have a live show on Sunday, July 20th here on my channel, and this is going to be to wrap up the entire readathon, talk about the books that we loved, hear about the books that maybe you loved during the readathon that you recommend, just kind of like wrap it all up, talk about the group pick as well, which again, that's going to be our July book club read. So even if you just have read that one and want to join the live show for that, definitely do so. All right, so that's all the reading sprint and live show info. And like I mentioned again on Instagram, we have graphics graphics for sharing your TBR, currently reading graphics, book reviews, and then a wrap up for the entire readathon. So definitely go check out there for all of those graphics. All right, and then now on to my TBR for the readathon. So I think I have like 13 options here, which I know is a lot. I don't think I'll get to all of them in the week, but I guess we shall see. But regardless, these are all the ones that I'm very excited for to get to eventually. So if I hit them during the readathon, that's amazing. But also a girl loves options. So I need a bunch to pick from, as well as some of these I'm waiting for like audio holds from the library. So if those end up coming in on time or not will depend on if I'm able to fit them in during the readathon. But let's see. The first one I have is Promise to Arlette by Serena Burdick. Again, this is our group pick as well as our July book club read. Very excited for this one. The second one I have is The Flight Girls by Noelle Salazar. I have a copy of it, but I could not find it, so my parents might still be borrowing that one. This is a World War II, and I believe it's following the female pilot stationed at Pearl Harbor when that incident happens. And so this one I'm excited to get to. This will also meet the prompt for reading a Hosts book pick, because I know Tori loves this one and I have been saving it. I love Noelle Salazar's writing, so I can't wait to get to that one. All right, another one I want to get to, which this one I'm putting a holdout from my library. So this is The Personal Librarian by Marie Benedict and Victoria Christopher Murray. So this is a co-written book. I have read Victoria Christopher Murray. I have not read the other author, and so this one I've been wanting to get to for quite some time. This one I believe it has to do with JP Morgan's library. Let me see here. Yes, it says this is the little-known story of Belle DaCosta Green, J.P. Morgan's personal librarian, who became one of the most powerful women in New York, despite the dangerous secret she kept in order to make her dreams come true. In her 20s, Belle is hired by J.P. Morgan to curate a collection of rare manuscripts, books, and artwork for his newly built Pierpont Morgan Library, which I believe it says in the synopsis. Let me check before I spoil things. Okay, yeah, it's in the synopsis. So in here, the heroine is actually a Black woman, and she's been living her life as a white passing. So I know it has to do a lot with race and things like that as well in this book, and it sounds so good. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book, so I definitely want to get to that one. The next one I want to get to is The Second Mrs. Astor. So this one is actually takes place during the Titanic, and this one I actually picked up at a local used bookstore. I think I actually got this during our last readathon and I just never got to it, possibly. So I'm excited to get to this one. The heroine in here is the young wife of John Jacob Astor, and so they're coming back, I think, from their honeymoon, and they're on the Titanic. And so it's around like real historical people, but definitely like a fictionalized version of the story, I'm assuming. So I've heard amazing things about this one, and I'm very excited to get to it. I know that it is on Kindle Unlimited, and my library also had the audio, so I cannot wait to read this one. I also have After Paris by Mary Ellen Taylor. So this one I actually recently got in from Amazon Publishing. They sent me a bunch of books, and this was a new release that they sent me. So this one is a heroine in present day, I think like 2025, and it says that she has recently went through 2 years of battling cancer, and now she's determined to move forward. And it says she's researching a new project about a French actress who was the it girl of the early 1940s French cinema, who vanished from Nazi-occupied Paris in 1942. And the heroine in current day times, she ends up finding an old diary that will change her life forever. So I'm excited to get to this one, dual timeline, World War II. I know that since this is a Montlake / Amazon published book, that the book is going to be on Kindle Unlimited with the read and listen feature, which I love that. I love being able to get an audiobook with the book on KU. So I can't wait to check this one out as well. Another one that I found at a local used bookstore. So this is Last Year of the War by Susan Meissner. This one's World War II set in America. So I think that, yes, one of the characters is a German-American teenager whose life changes forever when her immigrant family is sent to an internment camp during World War II. She was living in Iowa with her family, but they had been arrested on suspicion of being Nazi sympathizers, and so the family sent to an internment camp in Texas. And then there she ends up meeting another young girl, a teenager who's Japanese-American from Los Angeles, whose family was also sent to the internment camp during World War II. I'm excited to check this one out because my grandmother was Japanese as well, and she actually went to an internment camp during World War II when she lived in the United States as a teenager. So I really want to check this one out. I think I grabbed the audiobook of this from my library, and this will be a new to me author, so I can't wait to see how this one goes. All right, and then this chunky boy, this is one that I've been wanting to get to for quite some time, and I think this is the readathon that I'm finally going to tackle it. So this is All the Light We Cannot See. This one I feel like is so highly acclaimed. It's won the Pulitzer Prize. I know it has a Netflix. Is it Netflix or Hulu? I think it has a Netflix TV show as well that I've been wanting to watch the adaptation. I'm very excited to get to this one, World War II. I feel like everybody but me has read it, and so I need to read it, and I'm very excited. I know it's emotional. and I think I'm ready for it. And then the next one is Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. So this one was actually recommended during our June book club live show. And so I know that two of our friends, Cheryl and Lexi, said that they loved this one. So I'm excited to check it out as well. This is, it says, a love triangle unearths dangerous, deadly secrets from the past in this thrilling tale perfect for fans of The Paper Palace and Where the Crawdads Sing. And then it says, a sweeping love story with pace and twists of a thriller. Broken Country is a novel of simmering passion, impossible choices, and explosive consequences that toggles between the past and present to explore the far-reaching legacy of first love. I don't want to know anymore. I'm excited to get to this one. I know that this one was hyped up a ton because it was I think a recent book of the month pick, as well as I think Reese's book club. So I'm excited to check this one out. I love Where the Crawdads Sing, and this cover is really stunning. So hopefully I love this one too. I put a hold through my library for the audio, so hoping it comes in time for the readathon. All right, and then another one that was recommended to me. So on one of my recent, I think, historical fiction book rec videos, someone put this one in the comments for me to get to. So this is The Women on Platform 2 by Laura Anthony. I think this is a newer release. Yes, it came out this year. And I know that the ebook is also on Kindle Unlimited, and I put a hold for the audiobook from my library. So this one takes place in the 1970s in Dublin, Ireland, and I think it has to do with possibly women's rights and like contraception and things like that of the time. So I'm very intrigued to get to this one. It has really great reviews, and it sounds like it will hit exactly what I want with like social justice, feminism, all of those things wrapped into it. So I'm excited to check this one out. I do also have an audiobook hold out for The Things We Cannot Say by Kelly Rimmer. This is one that I've been wanting to get to for quite some time as well. It has a really long hold from my library, so I'm not sure if it'll come in time, but I know this is another like super beloved one. This would also meet the prompt for Tori's book rec because I know she read this one and loved it. I'm pretty sure she has. So this one I've heard nothing but good things, and I've been wanting to try out this author because I have not yet. So we'll see if that one comes in. So another one I have is A Pair of Wings by Carol Hobson. This one is actually on my TBR from last year because it came out in August of 2024. This one, it says, we're following a pioneer aviatrix, Bessie Coleman, a Black woman who learned to fly at the dawn of aviation and found freedom in the air. So it says, in 1920, no one in the United States would train a Black woman to fly. So 28-year-old Bessie learns to speak French and sets off to Europe to learn. 2 years ahead of Amelia Earhart, Bessie earns her pilot's license. Ooh, okay, this one sounds really good. So I'm excited to check this one out. It sounds amazing. All right, another one that is a possibility is American Sky by Carolyn Dasher. So the author actually reached out on Instagram and sent me an arc of this one. And I know that it recently came out, I want to say July 1st. And I think this was also, I grabbed the ebook because it was available with Amazon like Prime Reads or First Reads, whatever that program is where you can grab an ebook for free at the beginning of the month. So I grabbed this one. So I have the ebook as well. This one I want to say is World War II again. Yes. 3 Generations of Women. The possibility are as endless as the sky. It's 1943 and the newly launched WASP program is recruiting. And so I think it goes from there. And I think this is going to be from Amazon Publishing as well. So it will probably come with the KU Read and Listen feature on July 1st when it's out. I'm recording this video early, so it will be out by the time that this video goes live. But yeah, I'm excited to check this one out. I think it's a debut from the author as well. So another possibility. All right, and then I think the other one that I have left is a historical romance for the prompts. So I have Falcon on the Wind by Shelley Thacker. This one I will be getting to around that time anyways because I am another co-host for a historical romance book club where we read historical romances published before the year 2000. And so this is our Historical Hellions book club pick for July. So I will be reading this book anyways around that time. So I will add it to my TBR. This is a medieval historical romance where the hero ends up kidnapping the heroine on her wedding day from the steps of Notre Dame. And it sounds amazing. I think it's rival families. It says the reluctant betrothed of his deceitful enemy. She was a flawless gem, a priceless treasure to be bartered for the freedom of Connor's beloved Scotland. So it sounds amazing. This old school cover is just a stunner. I love historical romances, so it won't be hard for me to fit in historical romances. So this is one I'm already going to be reading anyways. And I know it's on a KU with a new title. So the author changed the cover, changed the title, put it on KU. So it's called His Stolen Bride. I'll put the cover here. I'm excited. This is, like I said, another book club pick I have for July. So I'm going to be reading it anyways. All right, so that is my historical fiction readathon TBR. I'm so excited. I'm having this video go live the weekend before the readathon starts. So definitely you have time to join us, come up with your TBR, all the things. Like I mentioned, all the prompts, the graphics are shared on our Leave It to the Pros Instagram page, which is linked in the description of the video. All the books I just talked about are also going to be linked below. So if you want to check out any of those along with me, they're all going to be linked below for you with the titles and the authors, as well as my historical fiction playlist. So if you need even more recommendations, I have everything linked in the description of the video for you. All right, so I think that's everything. So definitely let me know if you're going to be joining us for this readathon, if you have any books you want to get to, if you're joining it for the book club read this month, any of the things you want to share in the comments. I would love to know. If you have historical fiction recs for me, please drop them in the comments because I'm always looking for more. If you would rather leave me an emoji in today's comments to let me know that you watched this video, leave me the map emoji. I'll put it up here. So a map, since we're going to be traveling all over the world with all of these books, and I can't wait. So definitely do that. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!